when you found out that Luka Dončić was traded from the Mavericks to the Lakers?
In my bed at 7 in the morning on Saturday morning. I went to bed Sunday morning. I went to bed at about 11. On Saturday. Woke up, was scrolling Twitter, X now, and I saw Shams' report of this is like the fact that he had to clarify himself that this is real. I'm like, oh gosh, what's going on? And I saw Luka's name, and I immediately went to my sister because she works for the Dallas Mavericks organization, and I could not believe that they got rid of Luka Dončić. And he's a young player. He's arguably the next one up, in my opinion, probably being one of the better players in the league. They just went to the NBA championship. I was stunned, Colin. And
what did your sister say was the pulse of the team after she heard about that?
It was shock. Absolute shock. No one saw this coming, and it was from the shadows. And I've read a lot of stories today. Luka's father isn't happy with how this happened. We were texting on Sunday. You mentioned to me that Luka was shocked as well. This has to be one of the more bizarre trades, I think, when it comes to a superstar. I don't think anybody saw this coming other than the front office for the Dallas Mavericks. And Rob Pelinka thought it was a joke to begin with as well. Rob Pelinka said, nonetheless, when the GMs and front office people for the Mavericks reached out, Pelinka was like, wait a minute, are you serious? He couldn't believe it. So I think that was everybody come Sunday morning, or if you were up late on the East Coast, at least Saturday night.
Very bizarre trade, very shocking trade. One of the bigger blockbusters the NBA has seen in quite some time, and nobody saw this coming. You just heard it from Mike Rizzo's sister, who works in the organization. Nobody had any idea in the building that Luka was even being flirted with being on the move. Shocking. Saturday night, middle of the night, at midnight, Shams is dropping that. And now all of a sudden, the Lakers, who is personified by the brand of their biggest star, they got their next one. They got the guy to take the mantle, to fill the LeBron-sized hole whenever he retires, whether that is next year or whenever that may be. So from the Lakers' perspective, right then and there, that explains why they did that. Rob Pelinka, the general manager of the Lakers, he gets called by Nico Harrison, the general manager of the Mavericks, and Harrison says, hey, Dončić on the move here. I'm thinking Anthony Davis. What do you say? What? You sure? Nico Harrison even went to the media availability and said that Pelinka didn't believe him when they first started talking about this, talking basketball. One of the more shocking developments in terms of moving a star.
And I think this is going to help the league as far as ratings, too. I think the Lakers become must-see TV. I think everybody's going to be tuned in at least to the first couple of games. Now, we don't really know when Luka is going to play.
Before All-Star break would be the key.
Right. So, but Colin, I think this does wonders for the league, where a lot of people were wondering why aren't people watching. And I'll tell you what, I think a lot of people are going to be watching now to see LeBron James and Luka Dončić play together.
Well, Luka has been out for the last 18 games with a left calf strain. He is now with the Lakers, and in exchange for Anthony Davis. So in a 3-team swap where there have been multiple teams involved, there was some salary dumps here and there. The Jazz are involved. They picked up Jalen Hood-Schifino and a handful of second-round picks. But the bulk of the trade is Luka Dončić, Maxi Kleber, and shifting over to the Los Angeles Lakers. There's one other included. And then the Anthony Davis in exchange alongside, it was basically a Davis for Dončić.
Yep.
And then the Lakers' first-round pick on top of that. So if you care so much about Max Christie being moved from the Los Angeles Lakers to the Dallas Mavericks, that's not the needle-moving point. The point is, the Lakers were able to sell a 31-year-old, soon-to-be 32-year-old, very good, probably elite NBA player who's on the wrong side of 30 in exchange for one of the more dynamic regular season and postseason performers in NBA history to this point of his career. Mm-hmm. Luka got the Rookie of the Year, and then he had 5 straight years of first-team All-NBA. That has never been done before. Luka did that. Luka is second in postseason scoring per game, 30.9 points per game. Behind only who? Michael Jordan. Regular season, he is number 3 in career points per game. Behind only who? Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan. That's where Luka stands. And the Mavericks didn't want to pay him. They had questions about his conditioning, about his eating habits, about his weight. Mind you, this is 8 months, 9 months removed from a finals run as a 5 seed?
And it was really him and Kyrie Irving doing the bulk of the carrying during that.
Bizarre.
Two-man squad.
Bizarre. I don't even know what Dallas is thinking.
I don't either. And I don't think their fan base does. And I don't think the entire NBA does. And
this trade put the sports world on pause.
It makes no sense, Colin.
This put the sports world on notice.
And they're worried. I understand AD is a pretty good shot blocker and pretty good defensively, but 31 years old for the next up-and-coming star in the NBA. You think of two guys to get the torch past them when LeBron's time's up. And listen, I love LeBron, but he's not the best player in the league anymore. When I talk about the torch, I mean the next guy to carry the league. You think of two guys right now in Dončić and Wembanyama. And I probably think it would be Dončić first before Victor just because of the age difference.
And now you're on the market. Now you're on the Lakers.
And then there's the I don't want to call it excuse because maybe it's one of the reasons that Dallas decided to move on, but the Supermax. Maybe they didn't want to give a player who isn't good on the defensive end, has weight issues, and isn't the best person in the locker room, $300 and whatever million. But Colin, forgive me for saying, especially in the NBA, you look past that kind of stuff. Now, I understand the weight stuff could be a problem, but does it look like a problem on the court when he's out there? Maybe there's something there when it comes to being healthy and whatnot. He's missed the last couple of games. Maybe it is because of his weight. I don't know. I'm speculating. But I can't make heads or tails of this. It doesn't make sense to me why you would trade the next big star over to the Lakers. It makes no sense. And Colin, I think it's bailing the Lakers out a little bit. I think the Lakers have spent foolishly. They don't have a lot of draft picks, and they really have tried to focus on winning now with LeBron James with bad trades. And this bails out the Lakers for 10 years to come, having one of the best players.
888-760-3776, the number to get into the program. Most shocking sports moments of your memory. Does this stack up? What is that moment for you when you start to think of, wow, what the heck? The show-stopping moment. Dončić trade was one of them. Now, you're so worried about injuries, weight issues, conditioning. Dončić has been in the league for 6 full seasons before this season. He had played 72, 61, 66, 65, 66, and 70 games, respectively. It's pretty good. On top of that, an Eastern Conference Finals run and an NBA Finals run under his belt. That is being a 25-year-old handsomely in the MVP discussion every single year, led the league in scoring last year. If you are so worried about injuries and conditioning and being reliable, those numbers don't add up. And number two, you're going after a 31-year-old Anthony Davis who
never healthy,
has been healthy with LeBron at least the past 2 years. Has been healthy with him. Maybe he's on the LeBron regimen. But is somebody who has been traditionally unreliable with injury issues. That is not explainable. That is the Dallas Mavericks dropping little nuggets to the media, trying to make this justified. That is what they're trying to do. Because I don't think anybody in that building, including Jason Kidd, the head coach, have any idea what Nico Harrison and that ownership was thinking. Because that is an owner-down decision. Yep. That is not Nico Harrison going out on a limb and get rid of Dončić. That is the new owners, which is Dumont and another family that Mark Cuban sold it to a couple years ago. That is a new family that did not have any interest in paying Luka Dončić the 5-year, $346 million Supermax extension, which he's no longer eligible for because the Lakers did not draft him. So that trade cost Luka a whole lot of money. It costs him a whole lot of stability because now he's going to have to go through a couple 1-year deals or a 2-year deal, a couple player options to get to 10 years service time due to the new CBA. Then he could start getting more money against the cap if he wanted to. That's neither here nor there. But now the Lakers have a motivated, chip on his shoulder, disrespected. How do you get the most out of an NBA star? You try disrespecting him.
Yep.
And you try disrespecting him with money, too. The Lakers got such a good end of this deal, it's almost hard to put into words. And the Lakers, to their credit, have never been unafraid of rebranding, of hitching their wagon to somebody else. They weren't afraid to get rid of Shaq in 2004 and send him off to the Heat. They weren't afraid to do that.
Because they had Kobe.
They made moves to go get Gasol in there. They made moves to get LeBron in there. They traded for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar back in 1975 from the Milwaukee Bucks. They went and got Wilt Chamberlain from the Sixers. They were unafraid. They've always been. They've been unafraid to get the big star because that's what the Lakers are. They need a big star.